Hey everybody, Bud Brown here, living in Dumaguete City, Philippines. Yeah, baby. I want to do a short video on something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's about making decisions. And I'm assuming that the ones watching my channel, and thank you so much, by the way, for the long-time loyal subscribers, and I appreciate the new subscribers that have just joined my channel. I hope you get some benefit or entertainment, whatever, out of this channel. But today I wanted to talk about there's some times in my life when I have to say, whose life am I living anyway? You know, when we're a kid, you gotta do what your parents say. You know, gotta clean your plate even though you're full. Do I detect a little bitterness coming out there, Mr. B? Well, it's true. I was from the what they call the clean your plate generation. Even though you're full, you're stuffed, gotta clean your plate for the sake of all the children that don't have food in the world, which, now that I think about it, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, my point is, when you're young, as a child, as a student, got to do what your parents say, got to do what the teacher says, and even when you first get a job, or even possibly all the way through your job, you got to do what your employer wants you to do, whether you want to do it or not. But the good news is there does come a time in your life that you can just do whatever you want to do. You don't have to follow their orders or rules anymore.
I'm not going to live by their rules anymore.
And even though that is true, I find myself periodically doing things that I don't really want to do. And I have to say to myself, hold on here, Hoss. Whose life are you living anyway? Are you living your wife's life? Are you living your parents' life? Are you living some employee or some friend's life? You're doing what they want you to do? Or are you doing what you want to do? And that kind of helps me get my priorities straight. Now, like I say, there are times in your life when you do have to do what people want you to do for safety's sake or for your job's sake. But I think what got me thinking about this, that I was making my oatmeal this morning. And I poured that old dry instant oatmeal into the bowl. Poured a little water into it. I had a flashback when I was what they call a hod carrier. The old days, the young man that carries the hod is kind of like, has a pole, and it's got a container that carries a cement, mud, stucco in it, and that's the hod carrier. His job was to pour the cement, mix the cement, and keep that the board, that plaster, or the person who's putting we call it the mud, put the stucco on the house. And by the way, yeah, I was a teacher for 20 years, but that was from age 35 to age 55. Then I retired right after that. But from age 15 to age 35, excluding my 4 years in the Navy, I worked in construction. So it was hard work. Central California, it's cold and foggy in the wintertime, hot as the oven in the summertime. But I learned to work hard, and I paid my dues. I did what I had to do, so now I can do what I want to do. So I was just, I had to make a decision recently to say no to an offer. And that's where this question popped into my mind. Are you doing this to please someone else? Or are you doing it because you enjoy doing it? And I had to confess at that time I was doing it to please someone else. And also, here's a thing that, you can learn. Hopefully we learn from our bad experiences. My last year of teaching, I taught 6th grade. And the ones that don't know the American public schools, at least in California, it was elementary school from kindergarten through 6th grade, and then we have what they call a junior high school from 7th and 8th, and then high school 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then graduate 12th grade. And of course, kids are different ages, but usually the kids that I taught 6th grade were around 11 or 12 years old, and I liked that age. But the last year, there was a group of kids that got it in their minds that they would harass old Mr. Brown. And the thing was, there was nothing I could do about it. I didn't get support from the principal, who normally is who you go to if you have a problem. And I definitely didn't get support from the parents, which you would also go to if you have a problem with the children. So no support from the parents, no support from the principal, kind of on my own. And I would come to school on Saturdays, which a good teacher spends a lot of extra time at school, not just Monday through Friday. I mean, after school, before school, after school, on the weekends, preparing and getting things ready for the week. So I would come on Saturdays, and here's these 2 or 3 boys. Oh, Mr. Brown, hey, oh, ugly Mr. Brown. Boy, Mr. Brown, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And you know that I just wanted to slap them in the face, but I couldn't. There's nothing I could do. If you know the expression, run the gauntlet, it's when people get on each side of you, and as you walk down or run down between them, they slap you or hit you or kick you. That's running the gauntlet. So I felt that I had to run the gauntlet. Every time I got around those kids, I just had to suck it up, and I would go from my car in the parking lot to my classroom. Of course, I'm safe in my classroom. And they're just yelling and harassing me the whole time. Nothing I could do. So I told myself, I think this is going to be my last year of teaching. I enjoyed the classroom very much, but these boys were just, made my teaching experience bad. So someone did give me advice, and on the surface, it seemed like pretty good advice. This is what they said. Okay, Mr. Brown, he said, say this to them. Next time they harass you, look at them straight in the eyes and say, I'm not afraid to go back to prison. And probably they'll say, oh my gosh, Mr. Brown's been in prison. We better behave. We better be nice. That's what he thought they would say. This is what happened. I'm walking from my car to my classroom. Oh, Mr. Brown, hey, Mr. Brown, ugly old Mr. Brown. And I turned around, I looked at him, I said, I'm not afraid to go back to prison. And they said, oh, Mr. Brown's been in prison, Mr. Brown's been in prison, ha, ha, ha. I said to myself, well, that didn't work. In fact, that made things worse. That spread the rumors. So I said all that to say this. Now I can do what I want, when I want, for as long as I want, and it's a fantastic feeling.
I'm not going to live by their rules anymore.
And that's a nice place in life to be. So I want to just ask you, some of you are in different stages of life, and sometimes you have to, do what you got to do. Like they say, do what you got to do now so you can do what you want to do later. So at this point in my life, I'm doing what I want to do. I appreciate everybody supporting me on this channel. It's fantastic. And ask yourself periodically, are you doing what you want to do, and whose life are you living anyway? So with that thought, I'm going to sign off. Take care. A lot of exciting things coming up in the future, and I'll be happy to bring you along with me. Bye-bye.